Hello, Screencast fans, and welcome back to another Teach Me to Code podcast. This is your host, Charles Max Wood, and this week I'm going to continue the Build a Blog series for Rails 3, and we're going to go ahead and write some scenarios for edit or update and delete. So let's go ahead and get going there. The first thing we're seeing here is our show and create. We're actually just going to go ahead and create the edit scenario from the create scenario. Now the reason that I'm doing this is because the create scenario already has the form submission and the proper fields and everything for that. So I'm just gonna use it as it is. The only thing that we really need to change other than the scenario name is you'll see here, given I have a username Charles Max Wood, we need more than just a user there. We actually need a post to edit. So if we scroll up, then we'll see that we've already done the work here in show post. So I'm just going to copy that and move it down properly so that it's in edit post. Now I want to point out that I'm not a big fan of copy and paste coding, but in this case I don't know that there's really a good way around it, so we're just going to go ahead and move it down. If you know a trick with Cucumber that'll allow you to do the setup, I'd be interested to see it. But anyway, so we'll go ahead and do that. We'll tell it when I edit the post instead of displaying the post, which takes you to the show page, and that should pretty much do it. So we can see here, I have a post. It sets up all the post's attributes, and then it goes to the edit page. We fill in the form fields, change the values, press save, and then we're basically good to go here. So let's go ahead and fire up the command prompt, run the Cucumber task, and let's see what we get here. Sorry for the little jump there. I updated some gems, and that's pretty much all you missed there. But anyway, so you can see that we're getting these deprecation warnings, which are kind of ugly. So let's see, another deprecation warning, and we're kind of up there. Sorry for another jump. Anyway, this is the deprecation warning we want to get rid of, so we're going to go ahead and copy, or we see that. I got a lot of input on the last installment on this series. All I have to do is take out this map right here, and basically what that does is it gets rid of the deprecation warning because using a parameter there is deprecated on your block. So we'll run it again, and we're still getting this other deprecation warning. So let's let this run, and then we'll go ahead and we'll look up in our application to see where we're using Rails : application instead of rpress : application. So we'll go ahead and pull in the search box over here off of the other screen. And we'll do a quick search for Rails application, and it looks like we have two instances. So let's go ahead and look at the first one. All right. So we see it here. This is clearly not the problem because we want to be using rpress application, and this is actually defining that. So we'll come over here to the other one, and this is in rake. So we'll go ahead and change Rails to rpress. And this should fix our problem. So let's go ahead and run Cucumber again and make sure that the deprecation warning went away. And then we will go ahead and move on with our scenario and making everything work. All right. So now let's go ahead and define this this step. So when I edit the post, we'll copy that. We'll head over to our features. Let's see, where is it? Okay, features, step definitions. We'll put it in post steps. Now I'm not sure why this when I click blah is there. That should already be in our WebRat steps. So let's go ahead and comment that out real quick and just see if anything blows up, because I don't remember putting it there, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we don't need it. And then I'll go ahead and put this in. It's visit, post, edit, and then the post ID. So anyway, that should get us where we want to be. We'll go ahead and run Cucumber again, and it should get us through to the next step. And you can see that the deprecation warnings are gone. Alright, so it's not finding the field. That's more or less what we expected there. So let's go ahead and edit our views. Before we do that, actually, let's go ahead and get in here and create an edit method, or an edit action on here. We'll go ahead and just copy the create, and all we really need to do differently here is find the post at the beginning of the method instead of instantiating a new post at the, if it's not a post, if it's a get. So we'll find the post, we'll go ahead and take out this else clause, and we should be pretty much good to go. So anyway, let's go ahead and look at the views, and we'll create an edit view here real quick. And then what we'll do is we'll come into the create view, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to reuse this form across both the create and edit. If you're familiar with Rails, this is a pretty common thing to do, and it's something that I really like to do because I feel like anything that you can put into it when you create it should be editable later on. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to tell it to use the post method. This basically just sets up the form so that it sends it back with the post verb. The reason we're doing this is because Rails by default will send back the send it back as a put on the edit or update. So we're going to go ahead and change that. So what we're going to do in create and edit is we're just going to tell it to load this partial. Now the only other thing that we have to be aware of here is that the URL is going to be different as well. If you're using the standard RESTful routes, you don't have to do this, but I'm weird. I like it to post back to where it came from. So I'm just going to go ahead and check if the post is a new record, meaning that it wasn't pulled out of the database. And then if it's a new record, then I want it to go to create. Otherwise, I want it to go to edit. And in fact, what I really want it to do is I want it to go to edit / the post ID. So let me go ahead and change this. You can't interpolate in single quotes, so I'll have to change it to double quotes. And then we'll go ahead and add the ID in real quick. All right, now I think that'll do it. So let's go ahead and run our Cucumber. And I'll clear the terminal. Alright, it's still giving us that weird error, and in fact it looks like we actually broke the create stuff. So let's go ahead and scroll up and have a look at that. That's part of the reason why we run this. So it doesn't like the create. Oh, we forgot the question mark there in the ternary operator. So the question mark basically says if this evaluates to true, then do the first, otherwise do the second. So we'll go ahead and run it again. Create shouldn't fail this time. And I think edit shouldn't fail either. Let's go ahead and see what it does. Now I'm leaving these mistakes in because I want people to see these things, and then if you see something similar, you can figure it out. So Anyway, it failed. Let's go ahead and look at edit. Of course, we forgot to include the form. So let's put the partial in real quick and try it again. All right, now it's still giving us the same error, which is kind of odd, but let's go back and have a look here real quick. It may be something in the controller. Oh, yeah, that's right. We forgot to put a route in for it. All right, so let's go ahead and do this real quick. We should be able to just get away with get and post. So we'll just create routes for get and post, and just change create to edit and put IDs on the end, and you know, that should set things up pretty nicely. Oh, and did I change the methods? Oh yeah, I forgot to change the actions here. Let's get those fixed. All right. So now we're well, it's gonna fail, so we'll have to run it again. But let's go ahead and try it again. Alright, now it looks like it still failed. It's not finding the post title field. So let's just change this to a match and then see if we get any further. This is going to look really similar to the posts show. We're going to give it the via get and post, and we'll wipe out this other route and see if that works any better. It shouldn't make a difference. It should work either way, but you know, I'm still getting a little bit used to these routes, and I know it works for show. So we'll fiddle with this and see where it gets us. All right, now it's still failing. All right, let's go back. Let's fire up a Rails server and have a look. So we'll bring in Chrome here and just hit localhost. What we're going to do is we're actually going to have to hit post create first. How do I make the title? Looks like it's loading the show the show action. All right, let's see. So let's move the routes up because it executes them in order. And go ahead and refresh it again. And it's still not working. Let's restart the server, just make sure that the routes took. Refresh this again. And still no luck. Okay, let's see. Oh, maybe we need posts create. There we go. So let's go ahead and create the post. Just type a bunch of stuff in here. Just you know, anything to kind of get us going. So that's working. Show, create. All right, so let's go ahead and posts, edit, and that's working. So it's loaded up here. Wait, let's look at the steps. Oh, there we go. All right, so yeah, we just left the S off of the step, which is kind of a dumb little thing to forget, but you know, now you kind of know where to look if you run into that. All right, I'm a big believer in leaving the mistakes in, so you know, I'm really hoping that helps somebody, so you know they can work through the problem pretty quickly. But anyway, let's see if this runs through. Now what we're seeing is we weren't supposed to see we were supposed to see it go to the show page. So let's come back here and look. The first thing that I notice here is that we're doing post new, and what we need to be doing is just updating the post. So we'll change that to .update attributes, and then if the post saves, then it should redirect to the show page. Otherwise, it should drop through to the edit page. So let's go ahead and save that and run Cucumber again. And it's still not working. So no, there's nothing on that end that we need to look at. So let's go ahead and look at our feature, and let's go ahead and add in the then show me the page. I'm really curious to see what it's coming back with, so let's go ahead and roll through that, see what happens here. Alright, so we're getting a not found, which is about as helpful as nothing. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's start the server up, and then we'll go ahead and submit the edit form, since that's where it's falling apart, and see what it does. Maybe look at the source, that kind of thing. So anyway, we'll submit. No route matches posts edit 3, but we have the route in there for a post. Maybe we'll just go ahead and I'm a little stumped. Says it was a post for posts edit 3. Let's go ahead and change the routes back. See if that gets us anywhere. We'll find out real quick, because we know that get works. Because we know how to tell if get works, because we can actually, you know, pull it up, and you know, if it gets to the point that it was getting to before, then we know that get is still working. So then we can get a good handle on our problem here, but it looks like it's still broken. So the post, it's just not doing it. Okay, well, the get is working. Let's go ahead and look at the source. Alright, so we can see here that it's got some method post right there. But let's see, we've got some hidden variables here that we need to look at. So snowman, I don't know why that's there, but whatever. And then it looks like we actually have this hidden input right here that is the underscore method that Rails uses to indicate a put. So if we change this right here to put, then I guess it would work. But I actually want to make it work for the post because I'm a stickler. So let's see. So this method post clearly isn't working. Maybe it needs to be a symbol. We can go back to the form here. Or maybe just, let's just run our cucumber tests again and see what that gets us. All right, so we're still getting the same garbage. So let's refresh. Yeah, go ahead, whatever. Oh, we killed the web server. So anyway, let's go ahead. I may actually have to look this one up. But we'll take this out. Go ahead and change this to a put, and then just make sure that that really is the issue. Oh yeah, the controller method is still looking for a post. So it's still going to do this. All right, well, I did a little research, and it turns out that what we need to do here is we actually need to edit the HTML option. And if you do it this way, then it will actually do a standard post. So anyway, that gets us a good ways toward where we want to go. So let's go ahead and run the cucumber again. And I think we forgot to change the routes. Yep. So we'll change it to a post, save it, and then we'll run it again in just a minute. All right, well, let's go ahead and do delete. So we'll set up the route. Then we'll go ahead and go into our feature and we'll create the feature. Now, this feature, I'm basically just going to base off of the edit. And that should give us a pretty good basis for delete. All we really need to do, though, is have a post and call delete on it. So this gets really simple. We'll just change the name to delete post, and then we'll go ahead and when I delete the post, then all we need to do is, since we're going to redirect back to the index page that shows all the posts, we can just change all the I should sees to I should not sees, and that will take care of everything that we're dealing with here. And then we can go ahead and run our cucumber test. Oh, we have to make the data match. So let's take care of that too. Alrighty, let's run Cucumber. Alright, then we can go ahead and copy this step like we did the other step. We'll just drop it into post steps right here. And since nothing blew up when we commented that out, we'll just copy it right in on top of it. And we're just going to do the same thing we normally do: visit, posts, delete, and then give it the post ID. And then we can go ahead and run Cucumber again. Now, the reason it blew up here was because we haven't created the action in the controller. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. We called it destroy in our routes, so that's what we need. And then we can go ahead and run Cucumber again. And it says that there's no template. Well, we don't need a template because we're going to redirect back to the posts list. So we can just do either posts, or we can, I don't think we set up a route for that. So let's go ahead and change it to just the / because we did set up the root route to take it back to or to list all the posts. So we can definitely check up on it and make sure that it's not showing up. So it expected it to not be there, and it was there. So we can go ahead and remove it. Now, there are a couple of ways to remove it. You can do this, which is post destroy params ID, and that will actually call destroy on each of the posts with those IDs, or you can do this, find by ID, and then you can call .destroy. So let's go ahead and run Cucumber on this real quick, just so that I can just demonstrate to you that it actually works. The only tricky thing though with this is that if post.find by ID returns nil, then you're going to get an exception calling destroy on nil. So it works, but it only works if the post exists every time you call it. So we're going to actually have to go back and change it back to destroy. Destroy doesn't throw those same error exceptions. Destroy will actually just remove them, and if they don't exist, then it just bypasses them. So we'll just go into destroy, and we'll change this back to destroy and take that off. And we can then, well, there's nothing else to do, so we'll just go ahead and run Cucumber and show you that it works still, or show me that it works still, because I have an interest in making sure this still works. And then we will be done. And all right, so that is destroy and edit. So if you find that you need to build this in yourself and this is the way you want to do it, then by all means go ahead and do it. I do have some other plans for Rails 3 stuff that I will be building in in the coming weeks, but I've also gotten quite a few requests for other things, and I do want to take a couple of the topics on user voice and make sure that we're covering those as well. So keep an eye out. We'll see where we get. But next week I'll probably do something for some of the people who have emailed me, and you can do that. Chuck@teachmetocode.com. Thanks. New Relic is the leading provider of application performance management tools for Ruby and Java applications. Thousands of companies use New Relic RPM to monitor, troubleshoot, and optimize applications deployed either in the cloud or in dedicated hosting environments. RPM Lite is free, fully supported, unlimited time version available at www.newrelic.com. All the leading Rails companies use New Relic, including 37 Signals, AT&T Interactive, Shopify, OurStage, IGN, and lots more. This episode is sponsored by Jumpstart Lab. Jumpstart Lab offers private and corporate training in Ruby, Rails, and related technologies. They're experienced educators, not just good developers, and will get you going quickly. Courses can be scheduled in the U.S. or around the world and curriculum customized to meet your needs. Learn more at jumpstartlab.com.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good, though.
It could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!